Hey everyone. I know most people don't have time to sift through the Epstein files or social media to keep up to date on everything, so I thought I'd start making episodes to summarize what I've found so far. This may turn into many episodes or just a couple. We'll see what happens as more comes out. On January 30th, the Department of Justice released the largest and reportedly final major batch consisting of over 3 million additional pages, more than 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. This brought the total released to nearly 3.5 million pages. Some reports note additional minor uploads or late evening editions that same day or into January 31st in certain time zones, but the primary release date is January 30th. I'm going to categorize this by the people involved in alphabetical order, and, of course, being mentioned does not imply guilt. The first person on my list today is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. He appears hundreds of times in emails, guest lists, news clippings, and FBI interviews. Documents show continued friendship post 2008 conviction, including Epstein's emails about invitations to Buckingham Palace after his house arrest. Virginia Guffrey's 2013 statement alleges Maxwell arranged for her to meet him in London, where they danced at a nightclub and engaged in sexual activity at Maxwell's residence. She also claims encounters at Epstein's Manhattan home and Little St. James Island. A previously released image taken in March 2001 shows Andrew standing with his arm around Virginia Giuffre's waist while Ghislaine Maxwell stands smiling beside them. It was allegedly snapped by Jeffrey Epstein at Maxwell's London townhouse, and the photo is widely regarded as real and authentic by mainstream media, court documents, forensic analyses, and even some Epstein-related releases. It has been submitted as evidence in legal proceedings, including Giuffre's civil case against Andrew, settled in 2022 without admission of liability. Forensic experts have found no clear signs of manipulation, such as inconsistent lighting, shadows, or compositing artifacts. A photographer who handled physical prints of the original confirmed it was a genuine film photo developed at a Walgreens 1-hour service on March 13, 2001, with matchup stance and metadata. Newly released Epstein emails include Epstein himself confirming that Giuffre had her picture taken with Andrew and was on his plane, directly contradicting Andrew's past suggestions that the photo, or parts of it, might have been doctored. Andrew has long maintained he has no recollection of meeting Giuffre or of the photo being taken, and he previously suggested it could be faked, citing concerns like sweating issues or hand appearance. Ghislaine Maxwell also claimed that in a 2023 jailhouse interview that the photo was fake. However, these denials have been heavily scrutinized, and no credible evidence has emerged to prove that the image is fabricated. Newly released photos show Andrew kneeling on all fours or crouching over an unidentified, fully clothed female lying on the floor. In at least two of the images, he appears to be touching her stomach and/or abdomen area, and one image shows him looking directly at the camera while in that position. The female's face is redacted for privacy reasons, consistent with DOJ handling of victim-related materials. No context is provided in the files about when, where, or why the photos were taken. There is an email from 2020 in which an individual makes unverified sensational allegations that Andrew was an accessory to the death of a trafficked girl in the 1990s, claiming he tortured her and forced someone else to murder her after she was promised modeling work, but allegedly sold into sex and torture. This is an unsubstantiated tip or statement sent to authorities. Authorities have never verified these claims, and no criminal charges have ever been filed against Andrew related to torture, murder, or accessory to murder. At some point, or multiple times, prosecutors attempted to interview Andrew, but he declined, and he has denied all allegations. Andrew has been very significantly distanced and stripped of nearly all of his royal privileges, titles, and official roles as a direct result of the ongoing fallout from his association with Jeffrey Epstein. In October 2025, King Charles III initiated and completed a formal process to strip him of his princely title, the style, His Royal Highness, and other honors. He is now legally known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, no longer Prince Andrew, Duke of York, Earl of Inverness, or Baron Killyleagh. He also lost his knighthoods in the Order of the Garter and the Royal Victorian Order. He had already lost most honorary military titles and patronages in 2022 under Queen Elizabeth II, and in late 2025, finalized around December, his last remaining honorary rank, Vice Admiral in the Royal Navy, was revoked, reverting him to his retirement rank of commander. Andrew has been removed from all official royal duties, patronages, and public engagements since 2022, and this was reinforced in 2025. He is no longer considered a working member of the royal family, and he was ordered to vacate Royal Lodge, his longtime Windsor home leased from the Crown Estate. He is preparing to move to more modest private accommodation, reportedly on the Sandringham estate, such as Marsh Farm, or possibly elsewhere. Some reports speculate overseas options for privacy. This move has been described as a form of exile in quieter, less prominent locations. Andrew remains eighth in line to the British throne, as birth order determines succession, and removing someone requires an act of parliament, which has not happened. This, of course, is a technicality. He is extremely unlikely to ever become king. Andrew's ex-wife also appears in the files, so I'll let her jump in line here. Sarah Ferguson, formerly the Duchess of York, told Epstein in a 2009 email that he's the, in her words, brother I always wished for. The latest batch of files include more emails, exchanges, and references show a sustained post-2008 conviction relationship between Ferguson and Epstein, involving personal thanks, business discussions, financial help, and Epstein's attempts to use her to rehabilitate his image. These are drawn from federal investigative files, emails, and related documents, with some redactions for privacy. No allegations of criminal involvement, abuse, or knowledge of Epstein's sex trafficking appear against Ferguson in the files. Her mentions reflect social and financial ties similar to those of other figures in Epstein's elite network. She has previously acknowledged accepting money from him in 2010 to pay off debts, which she repaid and expressed regret, stating she would never have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein ever again. Multiple exchanges show Ferguson referring to Epstein warmly. In one April 2009 email signed, Love Sarah the Redhead, or similar vacations, she calls him my dear spectacular and special friend Jeffrey, a legend, and says, I am so proud of you. She discusses being in Palm Beach and wanting tea, plus ideas for her company. Another email thanks him for a compliment made in front of my girls, her daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, implying they had met or interacted with him. Emails from 2011 detail Epstein helping Ferguson with her finances, described by him as an incredible mess. One exchange involves a payment to a former member of her staff. Epstein provided financial support, which Ferguson later repaid after public scrutiny. In a 2009 email, Ferguson reportedly told Epstein she could organize anything for him and his friends, including VIP tours of Buckingham Palace. This aligns with the broader patterns of Epstein seeking access to royal circles via Andrew and his family. After Ferguson publicly distanced herself from Epstein in interviews, Epstein and his publicist, Michael Citrick, discussed pressuring her to issue a statement retracting her comments. Epstein proposed she say she was duped into believing false stories by lawyers and that he was not a pedo. Emails show Epstein wanting a draft statement for her to release with suggestions of turning up the heat or even a defamation threat if she refused. Ferguson reportedly did not comply. One message from Sarah states she did not and would not call him that, claiming her actions were to protect her own brand. Some newly released images include Ferguson alongside Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and unidentified individuals in social settings, and no wrongdoing is implied. It should be a surprise to no one that former President Bill Clinton appears in photos, flight logs, and event mentions. Earlier releases noted flights on Epstein's plane, but this batch includes redacted photos and references to social circles. There are no direct allegations of abuse in these files, but boy, are the photos incriminating. Clinton has consistently denied any knowledge of Epstein's criminal activities, stating he cut ties after Epstein's 2008 conviction and has never visited Epstein's private island. No victim has publicly accused Clinton of sexual wrongdoing or abuse in connection with Epstein, and he has not faced any charges or civil claims related to the case. Clinton appears on Epstein's private jet flight logs for approximately 26 flight legs, multiple segments of longer trips, between February 2002 and November 2003. These were international, humanitarian, and foundation-related trips for the Clinton Foundation, often to Africa, Asia, Europe, and other locations. The trips included staff and Secret Service protection, and Clinton's spokesperson has confirmed 4 separate international journeys during this period. No flight logs in the files show Clinton traveling to Epstein's Little St. James Island, and Clinton has repeatedly denied visiting the island. Epstein himself stated in a 2011 email that Clinton never went there, but some earlier victim statements claimed to have seen him there. However, these remain unverified and uncorroborated in court. The January 30th batch and earlier December 2025 releases include several undated photos of Clinton with Epstein or in Epstein related settings. The photos show Clinton lounging in a jacuzzi or hot tub, Clinton swimming in a pool with Ghislaine Maxwell and others, with some faces redacted for privacy, Clinton seated on Epstein's plane with a female who had her arm around him, her face was redacted, and other social images from travels or events. During Epstein's deposition in 2016 from the Giuffre versus Maxwell case, Epstein invoked his Fifth Amendment right repeatedly when asked about Clinton, and this is included in the files but reflects Epstein's refusal to answer rather than evidence. Epstein collected news clippings about Clinton, and some investigative memos or tips mention him in Epstein's broader social network. Clinton's associations with Epstein was public knowledge before his 2008 plea deal, as Epstein visited the White House during Clinton's presidency, and Epstein supported some Clinton Foundation work. Clinton has said he regrets the association, cut contact after Epstein's conviction, and knows nothing about the crimes. His spokesperson has reiterated that travel was for legitimate foundation purposes. That's all I have time for today. Based on my opinion only, I'm going to throw these people into categories just for fun. In the sex predator category, we have Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. In the looks pretty bad but can't really prove it yet category, we have Bill Clinton. And in the innocent but take a closer look at those around you category, we have Sarah Ferguson. Future episodes will cover Bill Gates, Jean-Luc Brunel, Mira Nair, Steve Bannon, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, British politician Peter Mandelson, Elon Musk, New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch, President Trump, filmmaker Woody Allen, Supreme Court Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, Edgar Madison Welch in Pizzagate, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Obama, Tom Hanks, Jeb Bush, former U.S. Attorney William Barr, Michael Jackson, and TMZ founder Harvey Levin. If I've left a name off of this list that you think should be covered, please let me know in the comments. Have a great day.